Hey, what's going on, class? My name is Joseph Glasscock, and today I'm going to be talking about the correlation between mass shootings and the media. I'm going to start this off with a little story. When I was 8, my mother answered the phone and immediately started crying. My aunt had been shot and had passed away. Me being so young, I didn't fully understand death the way I do now, so I didn't really show emotions like I should have. I was obviously sad, but it just didn't affect me like it does now. 2 years later, my uncle suffered the same fate. Excuse me. People deciding to just walk into a school or a crowded place and just murder a bunch of innocent people disgust me. How can someone just do that? Like, what drives people to even do such a heinous crime? What if I told you about 50% of mass shootings are because of the news media? Now, I'm not saying that they are the sole reason as to why people commit mass murders. I'm saying that the way reporters cover these stories create a contagion, which is basically the spread of a harmful idea or practice. Excuse me. There's a pattern with those who only magnify the shooter rather than the victims. The reporters go into so much detail about the shooter and never pay the appropriate attention to those who were shot, which to me makes absolutely no sense. Excuse me. These shooters see that the shooter before them got a lot of fame and recognition for doing what they did. It's not good recognition or good fame, but it's fame nonetheless. A lot of these people who decide to shoot up a crowd, or, excuse me, sorry about that. Now, a lot of these people who decide to shoot up a crowded place are troubled. They're dealing with so much stuff, and most of them are abandoned. They really have no one to talk to or aren't really that social. So when they see someone just like them go from not really being known and are now the center of attention, they see that their name will live on forever. That's not the case with every mass shooter, but it is with most. I read an article on Newsweek. The author Kuttner said, "What was found in ones that didn't get a lot of media attention, there was no contagion. And in the ones that we did see a lot of media attention, that's where we saw the contagion." In mass shootings where there was little to no media coverage, there wasn't another mass shooting. And where there was coverage, there were more mass shootings. I also read in the New York Times there was an article posted with the same findings. The author Fulman said their desire for notoriety traces back from as far back as 1999 as the 1999 Columbine massacre to the recent shooting of two TV journalists in Virginia. Everyone wants to be remembered. Everyone wants to leave this earth being known or having done something that's memorable. Some of the shooters already have the idea to commit this crime in their heads. So what pushes them was the fame and notoriety that the person before them got. Some even consider committing suicide, but rather than go out and be the guy who's remembered for killing himself, they figure they'll go down in history, make a name for themselves. CNN reporter Smart talks about evidence that school shootings and mass killings, defined as four or more deaths, spread contagiously, and 20% to 30% of such killings appear to be the result of infection. The contagion period lasts about 13 days. So, excuse me. I apologize. I'm just getting over a cold. Throat's a little scratchy. So, basically, from the time one school shooting or mass shooting in general takes place, there's a 13-day period between when the next one will happen. So normally there's a pattern. One will happen on this day, and depending on the type of news media coverage it gets, there'll be another one within a 13-day time frame. So What they've been trying to do is they've been trying to cut back on exactly how much or how well they portray the shooter. They're giving him way too much credit, putting his name out there way too much. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to really just cut down on the name, maybe say it once or twice in the opening of their report, and then they will spend the rest of their report talking about what happened, the victims for each, and all that good stuff. So the contagion period really lasts about 13 days. So if we have the power to stop this, shouldn't we? Aren't we morally obligated to do so? Psychologists Johnston and Joy wrote, however, prevention of many mass shootings may now be within our grasp. As criminologists, media communication specialists, psychologists, and contagion modeling mathematicians converge upon a similar conclusion. A key motivator of the majority of mass shooters is the fame and power they perceive they will achieve for their crimes. It's time for a change, and I say we make it.